the other thing I've done, looking at this slide, I mean, again, this isn't too bad, but they're not brilliant, are they? Where the alloy on alloy isn't a good idea at the end of the day, and they do wear. But I found it was sticking, so I need to do something about that. If you wound it up to full throttle, it would stick at full throttle, which is obviously bad news. Quickly put in the decompressor and stop the engine, and then have to work out how to get this back down again. So I need to investigate that as well. And as part of the process, I've ended up buying this replacement throttle slide, which is anodized aluminium, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm kind of blown away. I didn't expect it to be this different, but it's quite a different design to the original. Obviously, it's effectively solid, but nice piece of engineering. They say it's forged and then hard anodized, but I say it's just a beautiful object. It's got a round pin on the side, looks to have been inserted after manufacture rather than being cast in or whatever they do with these ones. I haven't actually tried that in here yet, but I'm assuming that will be a better fit. May need to tweak things slightly. So the cutaway should be the same. They're both 3.5. Yeah, I mean that looks the same to me. In fact, if I measure that against the other one, yeah, that's the same. So that's good. So yeah, I'll just work out. I'll get that running smoothly in there. Feels quite snug at the minute, but I'm sure I can get that sorted out. So yeah, I'll try that. So hopefully that will improve the calibration, which will be a step in the right direction. So the only issue with this new slide is that it doesn't fit, or at least it's very snug. So the original one, actually no, I won't put the original one in this, but that one is clearly worn. You can see a distinct wear mark around the lower edge of the throttle, where it rattles against the bore of the carb. So this obviously hasn't got any of that, but it's very tight. I'm trying to get it in there. I've just rubbed a bit of emery paper in here. It's very fine. It's 1200. I think it's 1200. No, it's 2500. There you go. Just to make sure there's nothing, no lumps in it or whatever. But pushing this in, and it does go, but it's just way too tight to work properly as a carb. But it's catching here. So it's catching there and there on that side and around this side, catching there and there, which suggests that this isn't round. So that would mean this is narrow across here on that diameter, which presumably makes it wide on this one. So I suppose squeezing it there might bring it back into circular. I think I'm going to squeeze this part of the carburetor. Seems like a really dangerous thing to do, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. Just give it a really gentle squeeze. Yeah, so that definitely fits in more easily down to about there, and then goes tight again. So let me clean off these witness marks and try again. Right. So So that fits in pretty easily, that first 2 centimeters probably, then starts to bind up again. If I force it in the right orientation, yeah, it gets very stiff down the bottom. It makes you wonder whether you're going to be able to get it out again. So I wonder if this has been tightened up too tight on the flange, and that somehow distorted the ball. Something certainly has. So I'll get this out again, if I can. Oh, grief, stiff. Right, there we go. So yeah, again, it's rubbing in the same place up here. Down there as well. You probably can't see that, but there's a distinct, quite deep mark about there. Again, it's on the same axis across here. And some marks here as well, and indeed there and there. So again, this quadrant, big time. Down the bore, yeah, it's picking up about there, and definitely here. So that suggests it's narrow across this axis, way down into the body of the carb. So narrow across the axis, so it would need to be squeezed that way to even it up. But I'm surprised it's so far down. I thought by the time it got into this throat of the carb, it would be less likely to distort. I understand this top end being distorted, but down here seems strange. But seems to be the case. I don't really want to have to get a new carb, which I guess is the or an alternative at least. Let's give it another squeeze, see what happens. I'll try squeezing it lower down this time. Right, let's try this. Rubber ball. Not sure what you call these, but a ball measuring gauge thing. So I'll stick that in there. So that's the current size of this diameter. Yeah, it definitely gets more snug towards the venturi. It's relatively loose at this end, but then it's too tight down the far end. Right, let's try and squeeze this, see what happens. Oh yeah, well, that's immediately easier to get in. Not quite going all the way through yet. Yeah, still catching just as it goes into the venturi. A bit more. Oh, I hate doing this. There you go, that's a bit more. There you go. Yeah, that slides in fairly comfortably. It's rattling at this end, but does slide smoothly right down the bore now. If I go to fit this outer end again, So yeah, that's the good fit in the outer end here. If I slide it down to towards the throat, it tightens up again. I can't get it through. Annoying. I think I've got to go a bit more. Dear me. Yeah, that won't go in horizontally now at all. So the carb is distinctly oval in the opposite way to the way it was when it's free. So let's take it out and see what's happened, what damage I've done. Should spring back with a bit of luck and end up more circular than it was. That doesn't fit, and that doesn't fit, which is a good thing. So if I go down, this was the narrow side. Let's try and lock it there. So that feels pretty good to me. It's not obviously oval anymore. Let's try the slide in. Try and get any grit out of it. Yeah, again, that doesn't feel right. It's not too bad, but it's not. But that's definitely better than it was. It's gone down further than it was before, but it's still very stiff. And it's tightening up at the bottom. So let's just push it down a bit further and see if I can make some witness marks, work out where the narrow part is. So that's flush. Nowhere near the bottom of the slideway though. Back out again. It's definitely coming out more easily than it was before. Okay, and this time we've got, again, witness marks around here. Difficult to say. It's more even than it was. It's not such an obvious oval, although there is a mark there and a mark there. So if anything, this diameter is narrow. What does that mean? So it means it's still narrow in the same place it was before. So I haven't squeezed it enough, or it's sprung back. So it's getting better, but still some way to go. Still, let's give it a bit more welly this time. Terrified of cracking it, of course. Yeah, that's quite tight on this horizontal axis now. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to give it one more turn of the screw. Oop. Yeah. Let's take that out, see what happens. No sign of any damage. No cracks or anything, so that's good. Right, that's definitely less oval than it was. And that now goes in all the way round. So that's good. I think what I'm going to do now is just keep trying the new slide and rubbing the high spots off each time until it goes in smoothly. Getting there though. This is fitting in much better now. I've obviously stripped down the carburetor pretty much just to give me a chance to use some water on it, apart from anything else. So yeah, I mean, this is fitting in relatively well now. Goes all the way down, but it's still a bit stiff in places. So again, I'm just using that to mark the high spots, and then just systematically rubbing them down and retrying. So at the moment there's a high spot there, which you probably can't see, and there's a couple there and there, and a bit there as well. So it's all the way around. It's not. I don't think it's as oval as it was when I started. Just a question of refining it. But using water, and a bit of soap just helps to keep the filings, the bits of aluminium powder away. So as you test it each time, you're not getting sort of grit in it, confusing the issue. So just rub down the high spots. One there. One thing I am pleased with is that rubbing this up and down inside the carburetor body, and this is picking up nothing at all. It really is hard. It's anodized finish. So that's good to see. Any witness marks are on the carburetor body rather than on the slide. Okay, well after, I don't know, probably half an hour, just systematically running up and down, find the high spots, rub off the high spots. So there's one there now. It's getting very close now. Obviously I don't want to go further than necessary, but it's not, it would actually work now I think, but there's not much scope for expansion or any issues, so there's a bit of a sticky point. It doesn't quite fall down under its own weight. And that sort of halfway area. And there are some clear marks that it's picking up. There's one there, for instance. Right, so I think I'm done. It doesn't quite fall under its own weight, but it almost does. Don't want it to be rattling about in there, so yeah, I think that'll do. I mean, the spring will easily press that down. I'll stick my finger in there. Yeah, I mean, it easily slides. So very impressed by this slide. It's a beautiful thing. I guess with it being aluminium oxide, it's one of the hardest substances as well. So yeah, I'm impressed. And in the ratio book, he talks about chrome plated slides, which I've never seen. I assume it's the same as original casting or die casting, just chrome plated. But I think this is a better solution by the looks of it. Definitely more solid, less liable to distort, and say nice hard finish, harder than chrome probably. So yeah, I was a bit worried about that when I first got it out of the pack it, and it was so far off. But I think having got this back to circular and then just refined the bore steadily, I'm happy now that that fits pretty well. So I'll just put it through the ultrasonic washer, make sure everything's cleaned out. I don't think I need to take the jet out again. Maybe I'll take the pilot jet out and just blow it through with some air, make sure all it's completely clean, and stick it back together. This is the StayUp float, by the way. There's some black foam float, so it's not an empty box like the old ones. It is actually solid, so that's not going to fill up with petrol. And with it being a stainless steel clip on the side, you can actually bend it and adjust the float height. Right, so throttle all assembled. Looks good. And yeah, that's nice and smooth. I'll mark the twist grip with the quarters, a quarter open, half open, 3/4 and full, to help with tuning it up, work out whether that big needle is okay. Good, so I'll get this back on, get the fuel back on, and give it a go, and hopefully it'll perform better than it was before, and certainly that it stopped leaking. That was the reason I took it off in the first place. But interesting to see how that slide performs as well. But it looks really good. I'm very impressed with it, having finally got it smoothly sliding in the carburetor. Good.